I'd like to start the April 6, 2016 meeting of the Revere Conservation Commission at 7 p.m. First item on the agenda is roll call. Member Vincent Loria.
Here.
Member Joseph Lavallee.
Here.
Member Vincent Cammarata. Member Ann Raponi.
Here.
Member James Sorboni.
Here.
I'm Chairman Andrew B. DeSantis, and Member Nick Melason is absent. Next item on the agenda is minutes of March 2nd, 2016. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion made by Vincent Loria. Do
Second.
I have a second? Second by Member Joseph Lavallee. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Voted in the affirmative unanimously. Next item on the agenda is a public hearing for DEP File number 0610677, 180 Broadsound Ave. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to do so.
Motion by Member Vincent Cammarata. Do I have a second?
I'll make a second.
Seconded by Member Ann Raponi. All those in favor? Any opposed? Voted in the affirmative. Floor is yours.
Good evening. For the record, I'm Michael Seecamp.
Bring the microphone up just a little bit so you come over loud and clear.
Is that better?
Yes.
Michael Seecamp, Seecamp Environmental Consulting. And I'm here tonight representing Lighthouse Renovations. And Eliamar Reese is here as well from Lighthouse Renovations. And the project is to raise an existing single-family house and replace it with one on the same footprint. And also, the design is such that it allows, it's in the floodplain. Basically, it's land subject to coastal storm flowage. We do have, as you noted, a DEP file number. I noticed that they have no comments. And they still haven't come up with performance standards for land subject to coastal storm flowage. However, we do need to accommodate the stormwater to go under the building, and that's the reason why we have designed it with the vents, the storm vents. We have the base flood elevation at elevation 6, according to the City of Revere FEMA flood map. And we have designed it with that in mind. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Seecamp. Questions for the applicant? Representative?
Hi.
Member Joseph Lavallee.
I was looking at the locus map, and the address is on Broadsound,
Yes.
because I was looking at the circle where it's indicated that that's where the property is. And I thought it was on the side street that's perpendicular to the wall. I guess, is it a corner lot?
No, it's not. No, it's not a corner lot. That pretty much we've encapsulated the property in the circles. I'm pretty sure.
Did everybody get a copy of the plot plan? I'm not sure I included that. Because I had a bunch of them, so I think that's...
Excuse me, I was referring to the floodplain map.
Here's the plot plan, Joe. You can see it's one lot over from Triton.
Yeah, the floodplain map. I believe it's these. You see the 4 in a row? I think it's the second from the bottom one, I believe, is the dwelling.
Well, actually, the diagram that Andy just gave me gives me a better indication. Okay.
Okay.
And so there's another piece of property. Is there a house on that property?
Yes.
John Paradisio's property, the name? On the corner of Triton and Broadsound?
I'm not sure what, I'll have to
Andy,
look
is
at the abutters list.
There is an existing house there that, as he mentioned, that he's going to tear down. And he's one lot over from Triton Ave.
So the house is going where there's an empty lot right now?
No, there is an existing
There's an
house
existing house.
Okay.
that's going to be torn down. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but as the commission knows, there's many small streets off of
Yeah.
Broadsound Ave.
Some that don't
Yeah.
actually exist.
Yeah, and it looks like you're one lot away from Triton.
Yes, right. Yeah, the houses are about 5 feet apart.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else with questions?
Any abutter comments?
Anybody in the audience that wishes to comment on this? I don't see any. So I'd entertain a motion to close. I've written-
One more question, Andy?
Sure, go right
If
ahead.
I'm mistaken, on that property, they had a utility area that all the piping and everything went on, up underneath the foundation?
I don't know.
Well, we'll have to consult the architectural plan. And we have 3 footings in the center of the building. And I would have to say that the utilities would have to go up alongside of one of those footings, one or more of those footings.
No, I think what Commissioner LaValle is asking if there is a easement across the property related to the storm drainage system. Is that what you're asking?
Not really. On property in this area, on other occasions, developers have come up with a walled-in area. Since this is subject to flooding,
Correct.
and they would have all of
Oh,
the
so
pipes and everything going up a,
Oh,
Yeah.
Chase's.
Yeah, the utilities will all be above the flood elevation. They'll be on the first floor of the building.
Yes, within the foundation. Your sewer and water and natural gas, if you have natural gas.
Right,
will-
that'll all be piped up
Will
into
be
the building.
piped up in an enclosed chase.
well, I didn't see it indicated on the plan, that's why I was asking.
Well, you can ask Mr. Seecamp.
Yeah, it'll be on one of those, it'll be
it's
on one of those.
architectural?
Most likely the one closest to the front, the footings that are shown on the plan, on the architectural plan,
On the inside of
on
the
the inside of the building.
foot, yeah, okay,
Correct.
all right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Eight?
8 flood vents, correct. They push in when the water presses against them.
Anything else? Motion to close the public hearing and issue an order. I've written an order, pretty much a standard order, including the mandate that the flood vents, 8 flood vents be included in the project.
I so move, Mr. Chairman.
Second,
Are those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Vote in the affirmative.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll sign this tonight. And then I'll need to make a copy, and I'll send it to Lighthouse Renovations, 118 Tall Oaks Drive, Unit E, Weymouth. And it's a 10-day appeal period from when it's issued, and I usually consider it issued the night we sign it, even though it's a little delay sending it out. Whereas there's no comments from DEP, I don't think there'll be any issues.
Great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Vincent? Next item is a public meeting, request for determination of applicability, vegetation management, Keolis Commuter Services, Purple Line right-of-way. That item didn't get advertised and had the incorrect owner in the application. The correct owner would be the MBTA, so we won't be holding that public meeting tonight. So we move on to the fifth item, which is a vote on a minor amendment to an order of conditions, DEP file number 061-0520-526-546, Revere Beach Boulevard, Baystone Revere LLC. And Rick Salvo is here to present on the behalf of the petitioner.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. For the record, Rick Salvo with Engineering Alliance, here again this evening. Also with me are the owner applicants, Roy McDowell and Eric Simpson of Baystone Revere LLC. Just to kind of bring the commission up to date a bit, we were here several months ago for a modification for this plan, which was approved by the commission. And during the 10-day appeal period for the issuance of the amended order, the DEP intervened into the project and felt as though there wasn't sufficient information submitted for them to be able to come to the conclusion that this project met the performance standards. And the particular performance standards that they were looking at were those relative to flood control for development on a coastal dune. And you know, perhaps part of the difference here, why I'm sure the commission probably felt inclined that they had sufficient information and perhaps the DEP didn't, is, you know, the city is obviously a lot more in tune to the buildings and how the buildings are built. And you might recall, while we didn't actually submit building elevations, we did present with some graphics that showed some building elevations that evening. The particular concern of the DEP really was relative to that of the floodplain that is located across the street from the development and the seawall on Revere Beach Boulevard. And if you look at the new floodplain maps suggest that there could be a wave crest as high as elevation 16 that could come across the beach from the ocean side, hit the seawall, splash over the seawall, and come across Revere Beach Boulevard. It was our contention that wave would need to travel some 80 feet in order to be able to hit our building, but their concern was that we didn't have any flow-through openings in our building, when in actuality, we did have flow-through openings in the building. It just happens to be the way that the garage structures were designed. We just simply didn't submit architectural drawings, because as you know, oftentimes when notice of intents are filed, there's typically site plans that are filed, but the architectural building plans aren't filed. So as it turned out, we really didn't even need to modify our architectural design because we already had flow-through openings. You might recall from the discussions in the public hearing, these areas shown in pink represent the flow-through openings that exist in the building. And we had 2 levels of garage with building over that. Well, these garages are designed to be open-air garages, so they don't need to be vented more for air purposes than for floodplain purposes, but it happens to meet the same criteria. So we had several meetings with the DEP to review this stuff, submitted supplemental information to them to show that, you know, the requirement under the building code is 1 square inch per square foot of enclosure, which would lead to 58,000 square inches of opening. Well, this design, as you can see on this pink, it's almost all opened at the lower levels. There's approximately 1.16 million square inches of opening, so we far exceed what the requirements would be. That appeared to satisfy the DEP. We had 2 meetings with the DEP, and the conclusion that we came to was, rather than the department issuing a superseding order of conditions, we had requested that we could simply submit the supplemental information, come back to the commission, put this into your record, so you had it in your record, issue a new amendment that would reflect these particular plans, and that would give the DEP the ability to withdraw their appeal, so this whole thing stays locally and it's able to be locally administrated by the commission rather than coming out of the commission's hands and becoming a superseding order of conditions, which we thought was the best case scenario for everyone. So that's really, there's really no changes to the plan. It's the same exact plan that you submitted. We just simply are providing the additional detail that shows that those flow-throughs do in fact exist in the building. And then there was some supplemental stormwater information that they had required, some supplemental calculations that we did submit that to the commission as well, just to prove that we met the DEP stormwater standards. So we met with Phil DePietro, who is the analyst that's reviewing it, as well as Rachel Freed, who's sort of the director over there. So she's involved in this process. They're both involved with this process. They understand that we're here for the amendment tonight. So we're hopeful that you folks can issue the amended order, and shortly thereafter, the DEP will withdraw their appeal, and we'll be able to move forward.
Thank you, Mr. Salvo. Any questions for Mr. Salvo?
Yes.
Mr. Member LaValle?
Hi. The nature of these openings, is it just all open, or are they louvered walls, or a grid, or what? From the outside, what would you be seeing in there?
There will be a covering. There will be like a louver type structure that will be put over it. They will be breakaway, so they'll be made to. They'll either be magnetic or something like that. So when the water pushes against them, they'll push in and the water can go through. But everything will be louvered because it has to be for security purposes.
And yet you said it was going to be open because you don't have to do the venting as you would if it was
That's right. So
closed.
the air will go through and all that stuff, but it won't be so that people can walk through the openings, though. Does that make sense?
I'm just trying to get a picture of this.
Good evening. Roy McDowell, Baystone, Revere. Just to clarify, the rear side of the building on the second level, that will be purely open. There'll be no screens whatsoever. On the lower side in the rear will be open also. On the front of the building will be a vented louver that water can freely flow through. And again, that's for two reasons. One is aesthetic, so you're just not looking at a wide open garage from the street. And the other is the security aspect of people not just being able to walk into the garage from the front. But it will meet all the standards required by DEP for flow through. Thank you.
When you say it'll be a grate of some sort, is that like an exhaust louver on a building? Can you describe what you would actually sort of see?
Yes, what we're looking at right now is, if you picture, let's say an opening is 8 feet wide by 8 feet high, that would be a pre-made panel that would be held in place most likely on the sides with very strong magnets. So in fact, it would be, let's say, almost like Swiss cheese, if you will, with architectural openings of small various sizes, so water and air can flow through. And let's say, for instance, there was water that hits it, water would flow through. Let's say a wave hit it. Let's say something really big. The magnets would knock loose.
Carrying debris.
Correct.
Yep.
Exactly.
Mr. Chairman.
That satisfy your question?
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Joe.
Member Cammarata?
Yes, if we okay the amendments,
Make sure your mic's on, Vincent. There you go.
I'm sorry. All you were looking for is to correct the amendments, right?
Correct.
If we correct the amendments, will you be all set, or do you have to go back to the other units?
We are all set.
Thank you.
We're hoping to get a building permit within a week and breaking ground the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Sounds good.
Very good.
Thank
you.
Anything else?
No, it sounds good to me. It sounds like the proponent has done all their work and due diligence with the DEP. And it was part of the original design anyway, so it's now added to the amendment, and motion to approve the amendment.
You're placing a motion?
Yes.
Motion to approve.
And I'll second it.
Is to issue an amended order of conditions. And the practical matter is the only thing that really changes in the order is the plan reference. With new plans that was submitted dated March 11th, 2016. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Voted in the affirmative on the motion by James Saboni, seconded by Amber Capone. You're welcome. Oh, okay, I get batteries. I just want to check one thing, though. Should I send this to Mr. McDowell? I have Baystone, Revere LLC, 21 Center Street, Weston, Mass. 02493, is that correct?
Correct, yes, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
you're welcome.
Good luck.
For signature? And let me go check out the mic.
Recess?
Yeah, 5-minute recess.
Yeah.
Sorry for the interruption. Back to the agenda. Next item is vote for certificate of compliance for DEP file number 0610639, North Lot, Vanguard at Waterfront Square, Covington Company. Katie Cruz is here from Hancock Associates. So would you present, Katie? Just bring the mic close to you.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you.
So I'm here to present our request for a certificate of compliance for the Vanguard at Waterfront Square project. It is the northernmost buildings that were recently completed as part of the Waterfront Square project up near Revere Street. The addresses are 660 and 674 Ocean Avenue. The buildings are residential buildings. They are apartments over levels of parking. The larger building has 2 levels of parking. It's 7 stories high. The smaller building has 1 level of parking, and it's 5 stories high. A portion of the project was in the 100-foot wetland buffer zone associated with the Eastern County Ditch. And the project was completed in compliance with the design and the order of conditions.
Thank you, Katie. Member LaValle?
Hi. I drive by there all the time, but I haven't had a chance to really look over the area. If I'm not mistaken, there was a walkway that was supposed to go up towards Revere Street. Has that been completed too?
Yes, it has.
And, go ahead.
It's next to the smaller building, up next to Revere Street. It kind of zigzags back and forth, and it provides handicap access from Revere Street down to the sidewalk on Ocean Avenue.
I have another question, but I don't know if you'd have this kind of information, but is there any plan on, or when are they going to repair the road in front of those buildings on Revere Beach, the Ocean Ave?
No, I don't know that.
Do you people have any?
It wasn't part of the proposed project.
They didn't, who would that be, DCR? They didn't require you people, because you basically blocked off the roadway, or DCR blocked the roadway, and there was a lot of construction going on there. I was wondering if the site had any responsibility on repair of that.
You're right that one of the lanes, I believe, was blocked off during construction, and I know that it will be cleaned and put back so that it can be used again. I don't think that there are any plans to repair the road structurally that I know of. I know it is a DCR street, and we had permits from them to occupy a portion of it.
Mr. Chairman, I'm wondering if we shouldn't have a site inspection before we give a certificate of compliance.
Okay. When would you like to do that? Our next meeting will be May 4th. Saturday before May 4th would be the 30th. Would you want to do it then?
Sure, I have no problem with that. Anyone else?
Agreement with the, what time?
10?
Yep, 10 o'clock works. That's okay with everybody? Okay, so we're going to schedule a site visit for 10 o'clock on the 30th of April.
Okay, and can I ask if that's precipitated from your concerns about Ocean Avenue, or are there any other concerns you might have?
I think that's a very valid and good concern. So if you could find out exactly what's going to transpire with that, what's in the permit from DCR, requirements.
That's the back.
Oh, that's the back, Joe? Okay, right.
Okay? All right, so this will be delayed till next meeting then.
Okay, so the,
So 10 o'clock on the 30th, Saturday, the 30th of April.
okay.
Okay? Thank you, Katie.
Very good.
Next item is another vote on a certificate of compliance for DEP file numbers 061, 0657, F158N, Reconductoring, and Q169/F158 dual circuit tower separation project. This is the work on the utility lines, electrical lines up in North Revere. I don't see anybody in the audience on this. What's the will of the commission on this?
I'll motion to issue a certificate of compliance.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it, Mr. Chairman.
Second by Vincent Laria. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So voted. Vincent, this is for the certificate of compliance for National Grid. And Vincent, you have something you'd like to read? Turn your microphone on.
Mr. Chairman?
Member Vincent Cammarata.
Yes. I'm requested to retire from the commission. May I say a few words, sir?
Yes, you may.
This letter was sent, a copy of this letter went to our Commissioner, Andy DeSantis, and another copy is going to Mayor Arrigo.
Speak into the mic, Vincent.
Did I miss anything? A copy of this letter is going to Andy DeSantis and to Mayor Arrigo. So bear with me while I read the letter, please. Thank you. Mr. Andy DeSantis, Chairman, Revere Conservation Commission. Dear Andy, after many years on our Conservation Commission, due to my age and some physical challenges, I hereby offer my resignation effective April 7, 2016. Andy, it has been an honor to serve with you and fellow members. This Conservation Commission serves our city with honesty, dignity, and integrity. When any project involved with wetlands and any items concerning our environment, the plans were examined and scrutinized by you and the Commission to ensure full and appropriate compliance. If the project did not meet the required standards, order of conditions were issued to the applying party and re-inspected to ensure adherence. Andy, keep up the good work for our city and for our new mayor, Brian Arrigo, and his administration. Sincerely, Vincent Cammarata. I just want to repeat, it's been great serving with you, Andy.
Speaking into the microphone, Vin.
I have to repeat that. I've been here, I don't know how many years, Joe. I'm about 15 years, Joe, would you say? More than that? It's just been a pleasure with Andy DeSantis and all of the members that were here together worked. And it's just something I'll never forget. Thank you, Andy. And thank all you people for being here tonight. All right?
Thank you, Vincent. I believe Member Raponi would like to say a few words.
Point of personal privilege.
Granted.
It is with heavy heart that I make this little speech this evening. Yes, you are a veteran of the Conservation Commission, a very learned man, and a pleasure to have served with you. I haven't been here as long as you. I'm only a rookie.
Thanks.
However, you are a veteran of this group, and it has been indeed a pleasure. You've put your heart and soul into the job, and I don't want to label it a job, but you enjoyed every moment. And yes, it's been many years, and I'm really sorry to see this happen, but I'm happy to see that you will be relaxing and enjoying your life without having to report to us. But it has been my pleasure to be with you, Vincent. You added a lot to the Conservation Commission, and I'm just getting my feet wet. But aside from that, it's been a pleasure to be with you, and I wish you all the best all the time. Bless you.
Thank you, Ann. I appreciate it. I really do. It was a pleasure to work with you, and it's been a pleasure knowing you for a long time when you served on that school committee too, Ann. Thank you. I love you. Thank you very much.
I had a hand from Mr. Cammarata.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Vincent, I still expect reports from you on the St. Mary's ball field project? By your house, St. Mary's ball field. Call, yep.
I used to go down at first and ask questions, but now it's gotten so big, Andy, and the gates are always locked, so nobody can go in there. You have to go through a gate, but that gate's locked every day. If no one's there, you can't even go by it. It's gonna be a fantastic park, that's all I can say.
Very good, Vincent. Thank you for your service. Motion to adjourn? If
I'll
no
make the
other
motion.
business?
Seconded.
I second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion to adjourn by member Joseph Lavalley. Seconded by member Vincent Cammarata. All those in favor?
Aye.
Adjourned at 7:33.